So, hey Aquarius, my name is Chris, and this is your beautiful reading from whenever you freaking find it in 2026. And what a year, what a time to be alive, right? Let's just see what comes up. I'm not doing the Celtic Cross, but I'm doing 10 cards for you. Six of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. The universe is making something even, right? Giving you back what you deserve. Maybe you have given too much and now it's time to receive. And what you build now is falling on fertile ground. Here's the Ace of Pentacles, more Pentacles, all Pentacles here. The Ace of Pentacles, a lot of potential for wealth, abundance, and prosperity, but you have to show up for it, right? You have to do something. It's not just falling into your lap. The universe is giving you something back. Yes, there is some sort of reciprocity, or, evening something out, balancing something out in terms of your pentacles. And that Ace of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles, as I said, fertile ground. Working together with good people on eye level, right? Very important. That's something that is on the horizon energy-wise here. So we get 4 cards, then we get 6. That's the Ace of Swords. Shows up all the freaking time. The new consciousness in combination with the 8 of Cups, right? So we have to leave something behind. What we have to leave behind is probably an old view of the world, right? An old version of ourselves, an old perspective on things, on the world, on how things work. Maybe we have been emotionally attached to a story, right? Maybe a fairy tale of how things actually work. But every disappointment leads to, if you master it, if you leave behind what you cannot change, if you radically accept the situation as it is, you come out of this as the King of Swords, right? King of Swords with the Ace of Swords. There you got a new consciousness, but you also got the mastership of this consciousness. So whatever you have learned about yourself, about the world, about other people, relationships to other people, that's Cups energy. So your heart was involved, your feelings, your emotions. Maybe you went through narcissistic abuse. Maybe you learned how this society, this system is basically tuned or optimized for narcissists and narcissistic abuse. That we cannot change, not overnight at least, so one step at a time, but leaving behind your idea about how the world works and facing the world as it actually works. So you get 2 aces here. There's a decision to make here with the 7 of Cups, but we're coming to this later. So you get the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, new consciousness and new opportunities arising, and you got the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Discernment, Butterfly King, King of Swords. So by all means, speak your freaking truth, even if your voice is shaking. I think there are few times in history where this is so important as in 2026. To speak your truth, even if your voice is shaking, and to do what makes sense for you. And you're going to meet the right people to do this. Co-creation is here. It's not so much a job, but you're co-creating on eye level. That's a beautiful energy. So you've got 2 more. The 5 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups. So you're coming from a time of scarcity. You're coming from, there's the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Maybe you are in a time of scarcity. Maybe this is about losing a job. Maybe this is about losing a relationship. Whatever it is, it kind of makes you feel, if you in this frequency, right? Where you think, oh my God, life is difficult, life is challenging. We are definitely living in interesting times. And I think in the Roman Empire, may you live in interesting times, that was actually not meant as a a good wish, right? That was actually a curse. May you live in interesting times. Well, we're definitely living in interesting times. So whether this is a job that you lost, a career maybe, a relationship, a belief about how the world works, something like that, very deep emotional involvement. And it kind of kicked you out of this idea of, well, everything is normal, we're just, we're in Kansas, everything is, right, but we're definitely not in Kansas anymore. That's for sure. 2026, right, in the years before leading up to this, I think we've never been in Kansas. Actually, we are realizing, oh, we've never been in Kansas. Kansas is just a fairy tale, right? So, that energy, that could be, as I said, false beliefs or false ideas about how the world works, how certain relationships, things like that worked. If you wake up to a certain degree, right, that's not, we always imagine waking up like this, you meditate all the freaking time, then you basically, get a light around you and an aura around you, and you basically floating over the over the ground, right? And everything is super zen, and yay, I'm enlightened, But that's not how it is, right? The enlightenment means all of your illusions, all of your funny little stories, they are getting freaking pointed, right? So, that feels like the Five of Pentacles, and that feels like you're going through this dark night of the soul energy. But as I said, this is the energy coming from, you name it, since, I don't know, the last 100 years, 100 plus something years, I haven't, but this is a big cycle, a big circle, basically. You can definitely say since 2008, financial crisis, Pluto in Capricorn, we had to work harder and do more just to make ends meet and to kind of stay where you are. You had to run up fast to stay where you are. So this frequency of, faster, and if I just give 110 or 20%, I can make it. That was very much. And if you haven't realized that, please do so. That's no longer working. Doubling down on your efforts in this system is not working. You're just destroying yourself, right? And to the benefit of the people who are exploiting you. So that idea of maybe it is the American dream, maybe it is the European dream, the Indian, the Pakistani, the human dream, namely that you can, honest, decent work, right? And then you're going to make it eventually, or at least have a realistic chance of doing so. Not the case. It's just, I think the richest man alive has more money than 50% of the population in the United States. And the 1%, the richest 1%, own more wealth than 93% of American households. That's they're households with more than one people, So 93% of American households, they combine 93%, right? That's the richest 10%, 3% of the richest people, right? Included in these 93%, they have combined just as much money as the highest 1%. That is just insane, right? So this has nothing to do with you not working. If you're a billionaire, you're not working a billion times harder than everyone else. That's just physically impossible. So there is the Knight of Swords here. Let's just see a few clarifiers here. Ace of Pentacles a second time. Then we got the Six of Cups here. So you're coming from this hard time, hard realization, but it's getting better. And it's getting better by you focusing on your talents, focusing on rebuilding your stuff, but what makes sense to you, what is in alignment with your wisdom, with what you have learned, with your highest expression, with your talents, with your integrity, with your authenticity, now no longer participating in, exploiting yourself or allowing others to exploit yourself or something like that, right? There's a big decision to make. You got 2 times, you got the 3 of Wands here with the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Cups here again, the Wheel of Fortune. So what are you spending your time with? What are you focusing your energy on? Are you trying to repair the old system? Are you trying to repair the old job, the old career, the old relationship, Or are you, I'm not saying some things can be repaired, some things can be healed, right? So I'm not telling you to abandon everything, but I'm telling you to radically accept the things that you cannot change and get rid of them. Kick them out of your life, and if the realization that one certain narcissistic relationship in your life is just very, very toxic and has been toxic for a very long time, and you tried everything to fix it and it's not going to be fixed, well then, no longer waste your energy on that. Whether it's a job with the same constellation, then move on from that. That is very important, and if you do that, you're giving that what you love, what makes sense to you, more energy, and there's so much talent here, so much opportunity with the Ace of Swords, wisdom, discernment, learning from the past, and applying this. With the King of Swords, definitely also applying it. 2 times, the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So you got something going. Give that loving energy. Even if it's in the initial stages, you're going to meet, that's something beautiful. You're going to meet good people with the Three of Pentacles where you can co-create. And then it is a decision. It is a decision for you to make in 2026. Do I follow the old pattern or do I embrace the new pattern and leave the old behind? And what that means practically for yourself, is up to you to find out, what relationship is still good, what are you keeping, what gets out, thrown out, basically, right? Okay, there's no quote here. That's a deep one. This one is super important. Systemically root out people in your life who use you, lie to you, put you down, or disrespect you in any way. Systematically root out people in your life who use you, lie to you, put you down, or disrespect you. And that is not necessarily easy. Right? You need to be in hermit mode. You need to be some sort of independent being. But it is a choice, and I ask you to make that choice for yourself, right? Out of sheer self-love and self-respect. And Three of Pentacles, 2 aces, King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. You follow your passion, you follow what you love, you give that loving energy. Make sure that what you love to do is essentially part of every day, not just an hour on the weekend, but every day carve out space, every day to do what you love. And if there are circumstances that prevent that, then you have to change these circumstances. And the good news is you got all the talents here. All that is needed is here. The support from the universe is here. Good people waiting for you to meet. 3 royals, so to speak, right? So you got everything going. It's a very important decision underneath there's the Ace of Cups as well, right? Clarifier deck. Wherever the bird with no feet flew, she found trees with no limbs. Audre Lorde. So don't stay in toxicity. Don't stay with toxic people. Don't stay in toxic jobs or relationships or whatever. Go for yourself, for something better, to be your highest expression. Wherever the bird with no feet flew, she found trees with no limbs. Very, very important, and done is better than perfect. Just saying, right? So, one Blue Angel Oracle deck card, Forever in My Light. That's number 13. Safe and sound. You live forever within the light of creation. There is no need to worry. You and those you love are safe. The healing light of angels fills heaven and earth. It is everywhere, always. Feel it in your heart like an eternal flame glowing throughout the universe, through our days and your nights, forever uniting, healing, and transforming all. Okay. Helpful, not helpful, I'm not sure. It's just nice to, read that. Is it helpful? I'm not sure. Forever in my light. The most important, and we got the Ace of Cups here as well in the clarifier deck, at the bottom of the clarifier deck. To love yourself, to respect yourself, to be yourself a friend. Would you advise a friend to stay in a toxic relationship? Would you advise a friend to stay in a toxic career or job relationship? No, you would advise this friend to move on, to accept the things that you cannot change. You cannot change other people, by the way. I tried it like for freaking long time, and I can tell you, and everybody you ask can tell you, you cannot, absolutely not change other people. You can only change yourself. And to change yourself and to go into the right direction, you have to love yourself, you have to respect yourself. And that means to give that what makes sense to you and that which you love to do, your potentials, your talents, more energy. And don't waste it on people who are just not deserving of it. You're going to meet the good people if you treat yourself well. If you be a friend to yourself, you're going to meet friends in the outside world who treat themselves with respect, with the same respect and self-love. That's the thing. Swan spirit. Dig deep. What is this about? Let's just see. Shows up a lot lately, the swan spirit. With their graceful long neck, swans are able to reach deep into the depths. When swan spirit arrives, you're called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think you know what is best for you now, but take the plunge into the depth of your awareness, for there is knowledge you're not aware of and great treasures to discover. Deeper understanding awaits you, and a perspective that comes from greater self-knowledge is what you need right now to better understand a situation or relationship. As you come to know yourself more intimately, so too will you come to better know others. So Swan Spirit asks you to go beyond the surface of what is happening between you and others and resist the temptation to judge by superficial appearances. Now there's much deeper potential for loving connection, forgiveness, and mutual understanding. Choose to dive deep into your why. Asking the deeper question of yourself, you are led by the grace of Swan Spirit. So why are you doing this, right? What is the aim of your life? Do you aim to please, or do you aim to truly be happy? And can you truly be happy with people that you have to appease and please to kind of, give you a few breadcrumbs of attention or whatever? Or can you stand alone if necessary and just be yourself and focus on that and trust on that you're going to attract people who do the same, who do not buy into BS, who do not allow other people to mistreat them, to abuse them, to put them down, to disrespect them. Respect yourself enough, love yourself enough to go into the direction that makes sense to you. And you're going to meet the people who do the same if you are on that path. And that's all I got, and I hope it resonates with you. If it does, share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. And check out the summer reading for 2026. There's a yearly reading for 2026. And hopefully see you next time. Now, bye, my friend. Ciao.